feel like I can't remember a time in my life where we weren't building out this van. This is month 5 of building out this van. And yeah, the last time we did a van build, it took us 2 months, so we would be more than twice done already. I feel like it wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't super hot outside and there's mosquitoes and it's very humid, but all that being said, we're still very grateful to be able to work on this van together and pursue our dreams, even if they take a little bit longer and take a little bit of lot more sweat than we anticipated.
Are you explaining how much longer this is taking than we thought?
Uh-huh.
Van builds aren't easy. Who thunk it? Is that all the tables we own?
Yeah, unless you want to build us one.
Well, that's actually what we're doing this week.
That's a good point. This week we're starting on building out our kitchen cabinets, and we've got some pretty ambitious extra plans for them. We went and did a lumber run yesterday. We found this really cute local lumber yard, and they get reclaimed wood whenever people have trees that they need to take down in their yard. And so that's where we're getting the wood for these cabinets. Jimmy's gonna turn these unwanted trees into lower kitchen cabinets that are gonna be hardwood,
Yeah.
walnut, and not painted. So
Not painted for once.
yeah, so we gotta make them actually look real good. Yeah, so highly unlikely that we're gonna be finishing that project this week, but we're gonna see how much we can get done. Do you need help carrying anything?
You can carry the battery.
All right, well, don't say I don't do anything to help.
So, the secret to building a walnut cabinet is to not build the whole thing out of walnut. So I've got cheap wood underneath it. So we're gonna build the carcass of the cabinet out of that. And then once we're done, then we'll cut up the good stuff and like trim it out and make it look like it's fully walnut.
The walnut is much darker, and I think it's a lot prettier than the plywood. We did order some walnut veneered cabinet grade plywood, which should look a little bit closer to this, but we're not gonna use that on the insides because we are not trust fund kids. The first thing that Jimmy is gonna make is called the carcass. Some of it'll be visible, but it's basically just the bones of the cabinet hardware, and then we're gonna be fitting it with trim and other prettier wood later. But it's called the carcass, so if you hear us talking about that, that's what we mean. The cats are fine.
A lot of spiders.
We're out here with spiders, mosquitoes. It gets up to like 95 degrees. Every time I stand up, I get a little dizzy. July in South Carolina is brutal. So we haven't really made it a secret how much we hate working in the heat. So it should come as no surprise that we got ourselves a cooler from Evapolar, the sponsor of today's video. Evapolar makes coolers of various sizes that create a cool breeze to take the edge off the summer heat, especially in low humidity. This is our Everlight Plus, and it has been so great having it with us while we're working outside in the heat. Its small size is perfect for van life. It's lightweight, portable, and energy efficient. It only uses 10 watts. It's got 10 speed modes, a cooling timer, and a nighttime mode. It uses water evaporation to create a cool breeze, so it does work a bit better in low humidity, but even where we are in South Carolina, we're noticing that it's putting out air that's more than 10 degrees cooler than the ambient temperature. We think the Everlight Plus is an excellent way to stay cool on the road, and we love using it. So click the link in our description to check out Evapolar.
So we're just gonna trust my measurements?
It hasn't failed me yet.
Oh boy.
I mean, you spent days getting the cut list just right, so I feel like it's gotta be good.
I hope so. Maybe there was something for you to do.
Yesterday, the camera shut itself off because it got too hot, even though it was in the shade. I get it, you know, no hard feelings, camera. I'll try again today. Good morning, kitty cat.
Good morning. All right, so this is the design that I'm shooting for. And the next step is to cut out the walnut veneer. So it's just like normal plywood, but it has a real layer of very thin walnut on it to make it look like the whole thing's walnut. Surprisingly, I only need 3 sheets of this. One is gonna go on this side here. Another one is gonna go on the opposite side on, your right side. And then another one needs to go where the sink's gonna go, where you open the sliding door and like a portion of the kitchen's visible. That also needs to be walnut. It can't be the cheap stuff.
While Jimmy continues cutting the walnut veneer plywood, today I'm gonna get started on pocket holing these pieces that we cut yesterday. Dang, you're fast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're almost done too.
Yeah, I'm doing fast too. The more we look into this project, the more I respect people who actually know how to do woodworking, because it gets really crazy.
Good job, Nat.
Thanks.
So the next step is to assemble it all together, and if we did things right, it should look like this once we're done. I hope you can see that. Well, if you can't, you're about to see it in a second, so. How's it look?
It looks so good. I mean, it looks a little bit Neapolitan right now with the chocolate and vanilla wood.
Yeah, it looks very custom.
Uh-huh, that's very true. I love it though, it looks super nice.
So we had to flip things around because for size issues we were having. So basically we decided to put the bridge on this side. So the fridge compartment's gonna be here underneath the sink. And then over here, we'll probably have a big stove that'll probably take up close to both of these sections. And then underneath here, we'll just have more storage. So we're thinking like drawers on this side and then a like pull-out trash can on this side, basically. So that's why that side has a base to it, like a floor. And that side doesn't, just because you'll never be able to see this side because we'll have drawers. And then here, you know, you might be able to see it underneath the trash can. So we went ahead and threw a floor in there.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I tried to make it real square, so I hope we don't have issues later when we're putting on trim.
I think it'll be okay. Nothing in a van is square, so. I do think this is the exception.
And
Me?
us. Well, we're not exceptions. We're also not squares.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we're totally not square. Yeah, I'm hip. I'm super thrilled with how this is turning out so far. This is just the carcass, and then we're gonna be adding on trim and drawers and doors and faces and a countertop eventually. So we've got a lot left to do before this actually looks like a real kitchen. It looks like the start of furniture. And I feel like I would go so far as to say that it transforms the look of the van. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, because there's nothing else in the van right now, so I would agree with that.
It wasn't a tall order, but it's different.
All right. So now that we have finished the carcass, we can move on to the fun part, which is cutting in to that walnut wood that we bought the other day. Yesterday, I spent all day, embarrassingly enough, working on one test piece. So this is just some Home Depot poplar that I bought weeks ago. And I think this is gonna be the official design of our cabinet trim. I worked real hard on this. It's pretty simple, but it kind of gets across the Gothic arch design that we're going for in the van. Each arch leads up and it kind of like tucks into the next one. So it's got some 3D vibes going on. But before we get to this part, we need to cut into the raw lumber we have. and actually make it usable.
We're new to the whole lumber yard buying experience, but we basically had a choice between common grade walnut and first and seconds walnut wood. First and seconds is really nice, like milled a little bit better, it's better quality, less knots, and it costs almost twice as much. So we decided to go with the common grade, which is more rustic walnut hardwood, and we're gonna finish up the milling process ourselves. So we've got all these tools out. We got a table saw, a planer, a jointer. Big thank you again to my dad for letting us use all his tools for this. So we're gonna see if we can get this common grade rustic walnut into something cathedral worthy.
I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this piece is very bowed. Like if I were to try to get this entire piece to be square with itself, I would probably have to shave off like this much wood all the way across to get it to be a flat edge. So instead of that, what we can do is we can go ahead and cut it to like an approximate length. So then the relative curve of it is going to be much smaller than if I were to try to flatten the entire piece all at once. So that way, hopefully, we can save some wood, save some money. Okay. Now we gotta get the other side.
That was the jointer. Is planer next? Cool.
Yeah.
After a couple quick passes through the planer, this is already looking so much better. Super optimistic for how this is gonna turn out once we're done with all of it, but I can already see that this is gonna add a lot of time. So after planing it down, now we're gonna go through and send it through the jointer again, but on the skinny side. So it's gonna be 4 real square corners all around. A couple passes on the jointer and Jimmy realized that the plates are not level. So we can pass through it as many times as we want and it's not gonna make it square.
Yeah. Where's the board? I can show you.
I put it inside because that's the other thing is we kind of had like a freak little rainstorm out of nowhere. It was not supposed to rain today.
That's the worst side of it.
Dang. That's supposed to be flush against the yellow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be flush. No matter what I did, it was not fixing it. It was just making it worse. So I looked it up and I think it's because our in-feed table was not parallel to our out-feed. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm creating DIY shims. All I'm doing is cutting up an old can into these little shims, and I'll be putting these underneath the bolts to hopefully get it level again. It's not perfect, so we wanted 3 inches, and it is dead on 2 15/16 all the way across.
Oh, okay. So, that's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
Dang.
So can you imagine it?
Oh yeah. Dang, that's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
Good job, Jimmy. Over the last couple days, we've been working on getting the process all streamlined, and now we've got 5 boards like this. So now we can move on to designing these, and it's gonna start to look less like pieces of wood and more like trim.
All right, so I'm gonna divide the next process up into 2 parts. Number 1, I need to go ahead and cut out these long troughs for the 4 arches. That one is an easier process. I'll just be using a plunge router, setting it to a certain depth, and using a jig I made. Actually, let me show you that jig. Natalie hasn't even seen this yet. All right, so this is my jig. I got 2 beams to hold the thing in the middle, and these rails on the side will allow me to slide the router amongst them. And then I even put little markers, I don't know if you can read it, where it'll tell me how far I need to run the router for the lower arch and the upper arch. So that's the easy part. The last part is I need to go in by hand and make these little arches, like the actual points themselves. It's a little bit more tedious. I'm gonna use a smaller router to get the big chunks of wood out, and then I've got a chisel and a little hand Dremel that I'll use to make them look nice and neat.
This feels weird to mention in the vlog, but it feels a little weird also to not mention it. But today is my family's last day living in this house, which is my childhood home where I grew up. They're moving out and it's all good news, but it's just kind of a hard transition. So I'm just feeling a little bit off today with, you know, it's hard to focus on working, but yeah, thanks. Love you. Jimmy went through this process like a couple years ago. When we did the bus build, which was our first build ever, we were at his parents' house, and since then they have moved out and sold their house, and so now it's my turn, I guess.
Something about us doing a build makes our parents not want to live there anymore. All right, not too bad. So next, I'm going to hit the top parts here and here with a small hand router. All right, all done. Well, I wish. Now for the fun part. Well, Natalie gets to do the fun part later. So whenever we're done and she gets to sand it all.
It's all fun parts. While Jimmy has been working on carving out these beautiful, nice little nested lancet arches, my job has been to go around and sand them, really trying to get out any of the weird little imperfections that the process leaves behind. Like the router kind of leaves little circles sometimes, like right there. So just little things like that, making it smooth, making it really polished and nice. My job really isn't too high stakes. It's a lot harder to mess up with just some sandpaper. It's a little hard to get in there with the sandpaper because it's so large and such like a big flat surface. I'm starting with 80 grit, then going up to 120, and then finishing it off with 220. I don't know if that's the optimal way to do it, but that's the sandpaper that we have. So I think it should be decent. For reference, this is a board before I sand it, and this is one after I sand it. Makes a pretty big difference of getting everything smoothed over. We are gonna try one extra thing, so this isn't totally done being sanded. There's this woodworking technique called water popping, where once you're done sanding, you spray the wood down with a light mist of water and let it sit and totally dry. And that gets up some of the extra little pieces of wood that would come up over time, and then you can just sand those down with the highest grit you used previously. So,
or you can just be so in the zone like Natalie was earlier and drool on the piece while you're sanding it. That counts too.
What is it? Is it drool popping?
Yeah.
That's
So gross. gross.
That's so gross. I was just so focused. We've been out here all day. This is the first one that's fully dried after water popping. It definitely brings out some extra texture in the wood. It feels like it has not been sanded yet. It's crazy how much it changes it. So the final sanding, now that it's done drying, is supposed to be very, very light. When I sanded it the first time, like for real sanding it to smooth everything over, I did it pretty hard, as you're supposed to, and when you do that, it crushes the wood fibers. And so water popping is just a way to make those little crushed wood fibers pop up, and then you can lightly sand them away. But if you do it too hard, then you're just crushing the wood fibers more. At least that's what we're gonna try. Never done this before, but so far it seems to be going as expected. This has definitely brought out some weird texture. I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but I'll try and show you.
So the sanding process has been going really, really well. After the water popping, I just hit all of them with a 220 grit again. But I think what really made the difference was this 4/0 steel wool that I hit it with. It made it buttery smooth. Like, it feels like it's polished now. I think everything is complete on these. I do want to do, I think, 9 of these in total, and we have 4 ready now. I'm still working on the other 5, but we want to go ahead and start sealing these and getting these like pretty much completed. So the next step is to finish it. So I've chosen to go with some Danish oil. It's supposed to be really good at bringing out the natural grain of the wood. And since we've already bought walnut, which is my favorite color, I just went with the natural.
Before we apply Danish oil to these boards we've been working so hard on, we went ahead and applied it to a test piece.
Man, that looks really, really good.
And if you compare it to the untreated, it looks pretty drastically different. It's really, really subtle to tell the difference, but Jimmy did do 2 coats on one side and 1 coat on the other side just to see if we liked 1 or 2. I think we're leaning towards 2, but it's pretty subtle. I think this is gonna do a really great job of bringing out the natural grain and texture and color of the walnut. All right, so this one's gonna go here. Oh my gosh, I love that. We're gonna have the angles rounded to be a little bit more decorative, but imagine something similar to this.
Oh my gosh.
That's nice, isn't it?
That looks so good.
That is effective. That's crazy. It looks so like, I don't know, it's got character.
I hope you were gonna say gothic.
Gothic, yeah. Yeah. It looks gothic, but not like in a dungeon-y kind of way. It looks like a wizard's library or something. This is so cool. I love the color. Okay, let's see the other ones. So I have one here. This one will probably have a different design, but basically imagine something like that. Dang, that's cool.
Wow. I'll be honest, when I was younger, I actually really did not like the look of like this natural dark wood. I think it was just something that I saw like in my grandparents' house all the time, and just, you know, all the older people I knew had this, and so I just kind of associated it with like
shag carpet
and, you know, carpet on toilet seats, like that kind of thing. And I don't know, I didn't really think about it twice, but now that we're actually making this ourselves, I can really appreciate it, and I can appreciate how much work goes into this. And we just started this project too.
This van is gonna look so cool and so custom. when we finish it 10 years from now. I'm joking, but seriously, this is taking a lot longer than our last build.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that other than we're putting a lot more of our personality into this one than we did the last one, so I think it does make sense and it's going to pay off. I think we just need to trust the process.
What do you think, Project Supervisor? Is it looking good? Oh. Was that an A+ evaluation?
We gotta chew through our brake lines.
Oh no. Oh, don't chew through the brake lines, buddy. Gigantic, holy.
It's eating something too.
Yeah, another gigantic bug. Ooh, I hate it. Oh God, sorry.